Hey, hello everyone. Today we are going to showcase how we built a sample RAG application to filter out relevant resumes from hundreds of applicants. Now we wanted to experiment with LLM models and what would be a better use case than filtering out eligible candidates for a given job description. So let's start. Here I'm going to upload a list of 1000 resumes in CSV format. Now, while this upload is going on, what happens in the background is that we have a data ingestion pipeline. This data ingestion pipeline is designed to ingest all these resumes into a vector database. So I have uploaded and let us wait while this process completes. So now that the upload has completed, I have 1000 records in my vector database. So if I refresh this, I can see a collection named resumes. And if I go into this collection, you can see that I have embeddings for each resume in the CSV that I uploaded. Now let me explain to you this flow of how this application is going to work. So right now we are using OpenAI for providing us with GPT 3.5 and GPT-4 as LLMs. But in the later part of this demo, I'll also demonstrate the same process using self-hosted LLMs. So let us start. Suppose I query the database. I am the user, I do a query. I'm going to use my LLM to classify this query. Now, in technical terms, since this is a RAG application, this is called a RAG router. So suppose if this query is a generic one. So what is an example of a generic query? For example, let me do a generic query. Hi, who are you? Now this is a generic query. I do not need to fetch any applicant's details from the database. Now in this case, my LLM will directly be queried by the application, by the RAG, and I'll get an answer. So here I have an answer. Hello, I am an expert responsible for talent acquisition. I can help you with recruiting and hiring process, blah, blah, blah. Now let's move to the next step and show the main functionality of our application. So let us take a job description for a Java developer from our website. So here we have a job description that we will copy. Let me copy this job description. So here I have the job description. I'll write a small prompt. Now let us wait till we get a response from the LLM. So while this we get a response, let me demonstrate what happens. So when I do a query, and if it's not a generic query, now the LLM helps us classify if it is a generic query or not. We get to know that, okay, we need to fetch some data from a database. It can be using getting information about the candidates, or it may be just getting the applicant IDs, etc. So if the query contains a job description, we need to fetch the top relevant resumes. Now this K is a number, it can be 5, it can be 6, it depends on what input is given by the user. Now in case a query contains resume IDs, it is very much evident that we need to fetch the details of a candidate. So in that case, it will fetch the resumes of whose IDs that have been given in query. Now, once you fetch the required data, we augment the prompt and then we give this prompt to the LLM to give us the desired response. So let's see this in action. Now that I have given this job description and I told it that, hey, we are hiring for a Java developer. I'm posting a job description below. Please help me find most relevant applicants. Now that I had pasted this job description, I get a response. I have 5 applicants as specified in the prompt with their brief description about their experience and their skills. What if I want to compare any of these two applicants? Say I want to compare applicant number 237 and applicant 14. compare. So in this case, internally it will fetch the resumes of these applicants because I have the applicant ID, do the comparisons and give us a result. Let's wait for the response. And here I have got a very detailed analysis about their experience. So in summary, applicant ID 14 has a broader experience with Java frameworks and technologies, while applicant 237 has a more specialized focused on Android development. So this is great. Now, what if I want to look specifically for somebody who is skilled in Spring Boot out of these two applicants? So it even gives me like a contextual response. Say it tells me applicant ID 14 seems to be a better fit for a position that requires work on Spring Boot. And then it goes on to give the description and the reasons behind why applicant ID 14 is a better fit. So this is how I can use this to narrow down my search effectively without going through thousands of resumes. In fact, let me fetch resume for an applicant. Say I want to fetch the resume of applicant ID 237. So here I can even fetch the resume for a specific applicant ID. So if I'm in HR, I just want to take a look at the resume, I can just enter this prompt and get resume for any applicant ID. So this is how we are going to simplify this process of hiring candidates using LLMs to use the context in the resumes and the context from the job description to find eligible candidates. Now, in the next part of this demo, I am going to switch over to a self-hosted model. Now, I'm going to demonstrate the whole process using a self-hosted model. So to save time, I have uploaded these resumes beforehand. And just to show you which models I'm running, here I have Llama 3.1, which is being served via OLama inference serving. And this is my model, Llama 3.1 latest. It is an 8 billion parameters model. So there we are. And let me speed run all the same queries using this. Now, since we are using a self-hosted model here, it will take a bit of time. Here we go. And we need to wait for the response. So here we have a response from our self-hosted model. It took around 5 minutes to complete this query since this is self-hosted, not as fast as OpenAI's GPT. So let me do the same steps. So similar to OpenAI models, I also get the same response for the resume. I get the full resume of the applicant as well. So this is how we would like to solve the problem of recruitment when HRs are getting around thousands of applications. How to filter down these applications. These are the few problems that our application solves.